This cannot be ignored. Stellar play of late has this Dallas Maverick in the crosshairs of a title contender. And if you've watched any of my recent episodes here, you know that I'm pretty picky with how I define title contender. So we're going to talk about that. Who's got their eyes on a particular Dallas Maverick? And of course, we're going to talk about Anthony Davis. We're 31 days or 32 calendar days away from the trade deadline. So things are going to be heating up. We're getting conflicting reports every day about Anthony Davis. We're going to talk about it. And by the way, it's not that I enjoy talking about the same thing over and over every day. It's not that I don't want to trade him. It's not that guys, we just have to talk about what's happening right now. We don't have a lot of good basketball stuff to talk about. So really all the other rumor mill and all that, that's kind of where we're going to focus until the basketball product has drastically improved. I am your host, Ethan, the Advisor Clayton. Welcome to the party, y'all. And by party, I mean dope podcast. This is Your Mavs, the Dallas Mavericks podcast where all are welcome. Y'all better behave. But let's dive in. I didn't even talk about this in the intro, but we do have a game tonight, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time against the Houston Rockets. I-45 in-state rivalry, okay? And, we've matched up pretty well with the Rockets this season, okay? We are 1-1 in our two matchups. The first matchup we lost, but it was like a 5-point game, and we were competitive the entire time. Second game, we win, right? Pretty cool. So, I don't know. I've done a really bad job of self-promoting. I have a Twitter. I would love to connect with everybody. I would love to continue this conversation on Twitter. I am, maybe I'll put that in the little crawl at the bottom soon. But Dirk Luka Cooper is my handle. Dirk Luka Cooper. Where did that come from? Anyway, I tweeted out on Monday, January the 1st. Not Monday. Y'all give me a break. I don't think anybody knows what day it actually is right now. Anyway, January the 1st, which I guess was Thursday, I tweeted out what I thought the Dallas Mavericks record was going to be in the month of January. And the criteria that I used is like, hey, I was assuming that Anthony Davis is not being moved in the month of January. I assumed that he only plays 50% of the games in January, which there are 16. And I have us winning some games that maybe we shouldn't. I have us losing a couple of games that we definitely shouldn't. So I feel like I was very, very fair in my assessment with how the Mavericks were going to do in the month of January. I said that we were going to have an 8-8 record, but I also said that we were going to start off the new year with a win over the Philadelphia 76ers. Why am I so delusional? Guys, it's because when Anthony Davis plays, we are a much better basketball team. Okay. Now, that's with the caveat not when he's available, not whenever he's on the court, but whenever he plays. Okay. I think we have to make that important distinction because he made a comeback from a groin injury on I'm not even going to try it. Thursday, 2 days ago. He did not look like himself. He did not look like he had any energy. I'm not going to say that he didn't have effort, but guys, he came back from a groin injury and he looked like it. Okay. Maybe he was laboring up and down the floor. Maybe he wasn't. He surpassed his minutes restriction. Jason Kidd literally said, we're going to have him play 30 to 34 minutes. And then he played 37. Okay. So in my opinion, you only surpass a minutes restriction whenever you are in a tight game or you don't want to lose or whatever. But we were out of that game. Anthony Davis was not playing well. We probably should have pulled him and not surpassed that minutes restriction. But he has had another 2 days. He will be back tonight. We are a much better team whenever he is on the floor. We will beat the Houston Rockets. Okay. So again, I think I said already, I predicted that our record was going to be 8-8 in the month of January. So far, not so hot on my predictions, but I'm going to keep him going anyway. Right. Again, between the rumor mill stuff and me just throwing bold predictions out there, there's not a ton for us to talk about. Yeah, the Mavericks offense is terrible. Yeah, the Mavericks defense is starting to slip in the standings. Yeah, we don't have any good three-point shooters besides Klay Thompson and Max Christie. Okay, No, we do not shoot enough three-pointers. So you see where I'm going with this? You're going to hear me talk about the same things over and over and over if we don't go on some side quests here. So, yeah, let's start with some bold predictions for tonight against the Houston Rockets. Again, I think we match up extremely well, not because I am delusional, but because we have data. So, yeah, let's start off with the score prediction. Okay, I think the Mavericks are going to win 113-108 tonight. 113-108. I think we are going to step up our defensive effort. We have been playing pretty poorly on defense lately. And I think that's just an outlier because the way our roster is built, we have the ability to really, really buckle down on defense. So I'm not worried about how we're trending in that direction. Could be it could be exhaustion, right? It could be I think Bobby Corrala talked about this last night on the DLS show. You got to think that maybe all these trade conversations, all these like rumors that are starting to go around about your best player, your one of your veteran leaders, Klay Thompson, one of your anchors on defense, Daniel Gafford. Those guys are all being discussed in trade conversations right now. Maybe that impacts how they play. Maybe it serves as a minor distraction. I don't know, right? I've never played a game of professional basketball, right? So as shocking as that might seem to you. But look, we know how to keep games close, especially whenever we are patrolling the paint like we know how to, right? And again, Anthony Davis was not 100% the other day. I'm going to give him grace on that. Like, groin injuries are not fun. So come back tonight, look a little bit more like yourself. Daniel Gafford, like, do your thing in the paint. What I predicted the other day about the 76ers, I'm going to double down on today. Like, block party, double-digit blocks. That's what I expect to see. Maybe it's because I'm still picturing what happened in AD's first game as a Mav against the Rockets, ironically. Maybe I should just let go of that vision. Anywho, yeah, 113-108 victory, right? We're going to get maybe a 15-15 from Anthony Davis. I don't expect to see a huge scoring output from him, but I do want effort on defense. I do want shutdown on defense, right? Like I don't want to see us being taken advantage of for 48 minutes by an explosive fast guard, Amen Thompson, right? Like, that has been our Achilles heel so far this season. Players like Stephon Castle, players like Tyrese Maxey, they're fast, they're explosive, they've got that incredible first step. We have terrible point of attack defending. So those guys just have heydays against us. I think, perhaps Amen Thompson has his best game of the season, but somehow the Mavericks are going to start hitting more than 6 3-pointers in a game. So yeah, tonight is going to be that first game that trends us in the right direction, right? Where we hit maybe 12 or 13 threes on 35 attempts instead of 28, right? That's the big thing that I'm looking for is, hey, we don't have to necessarily make more shots, but we've got to start taking more threes. Like, straight up. All these games that we are in are close games. They're going to continue being that way if we're only trading 2 points for 3 points. Here, you go score a 3, we'll put another 2-pointer in there. You bet your bottom dollar on that. Like, we got to quit playing ball that way, especially down the stretch. So, bold prediction, we will hit 13 threes tonight, more than double what we hit on Thursday against the Sixers. Okay. Cooper Flagg, I'm not worried about him at all right now. You can call it a rookie wall. You can call whatever you want. I'm not worried. I think we see another I think he breaks his shooting slump tonight. Again, what I predicted against the Sixers, I'm doubling down on tonight. 30-point double-double from Cooper Flagg. Okay, so we win 113-108. Anthony Davis plays incredible defense, gets 3 or 4 blocks. Cooper Flagg gets a 30-point double-double, and we hit 13 threes. Okay, don't ask me how we're going to get there. Don't ask me. I just think these are things that have to happen for us to start turning a corner. Now, when I say turn a corner, that brings back into the conversation tank or don't tank. I think this is less about tank or don't tank. In my mind, if you are a player showing up night in, night out, and you don't feel like you have much to play for, right? Yeah, everybody's talking about us tanking. Like, I think that's got to be bad for the mentality, right? So whether or not we actually win tonight, I want to see us do several things much, much better, like taking care of the ball. I'm already annoyed about it. I'm already triggered about it. The Houston Rockets are going to get like 30 offensive rebounds. But if that's the case, then make sure you're closing out on those open guys in the corner, because if they get an offensive rebound and they get another 2-pointer, okay, well, get your butt back down on the other side of the floor and go hit a 3. Okay. But if they get those offensive rebounds and you're not super aware of what's going on the court and they find an open guy in the corner, like that's what's going to kill us if we are not careful. So take care of the ball, close out faster on 3-point shooters, try to minimize the offensive rebound game just by crashing boards unapologetically. Like I think, players like PJ Washington and Naji Marshall can really, really step up and help in the rebounding game. Same thing for Cooper Flagg. Like, let's just have guys fly into the glass tonight, like with reckless abandon. Okay. I brought up Naji Marshall as a potential boost to the rebounding game, and maybe to help offset some of the offensive rebounds that the Houston Rockets are known for getting. That is who I was talking about in our intro. Homie has been playing lights out lately, both sides of the floor. Other than like the open missed threes that could have won the game the other day, Naji Marshall has been awesome. Teams across the league are really starting to notice, okay? I see Mavs fans on Twitter dying on the hill that don't you even dare look Naji Marshall's direction. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what we say. Teams like the New York Knicks, who are a title contender. This is not an official source. This is not an official report. I was just reading an article on Sports Illustrated by a Knicks beat writer. And they're like, hey, coming into the deadline, we are very much buyers. We are not sellers. We think that we can go to the NBA Finals. The only thing that the Knicks really need to do to, in their minds anyway, to cement their run to run the table, they need to bolster their bench scoring production. So eyesight turns toward Naji Marshall, right, who is shooting like 80-something% from the paint. Unbelievable. Like, again, just attack mode. You cannot stop Naji Marshall when he gets a head full of steam. He's got nice soft touch. He's strong to be able to finish through contact. Like, those are the things that benches across the NBA desperately need. And the Knicks are no exception. By the way, in the Your Sports Media Network, there is a fabulous show counterpart to this one, Your Knicks, run by Robert Lefkowitz, or Papa Left, if going by his nickname. I'd be curious to hear what he has to say about Naji Marshall as a potential trade target for the New York Knicks. But listen, I am not in the business of trading Naji Marshall. I looked at the Knicks roster and pick situation. Not all that interested, to be honest with you, right? So if that's something that we're going to entertain, Naji is on an incredibly team-friendly contract. Do you know how valuable that is to us right now when we have 2, 3, maybe even 4 not so great contracts on our books? Naji is way outperforming his contract, and to me, that's something that we hold on to, especially again because when we can't get scoring anywhere else, we can get Naji the Rock, and he's going to go get a bucket for us. Like that is such a valuable piece to any tiny bit of success that the Mavericks have right now. But it doesn't matter. Everybody across the league is noticing how incredibly well he's playing. And one trade idea, I'm just going to throw this out there. It was something I saw on Reddit from a Knicks fan. They're proposing that they trade Gershon Yabusele and Deuce McBride and 2026 first to Dallas for Naji Marshall. Now, the money works, right? You hear pick, and you're like, yeah, that sounds great. No. The New York Knicks pick in 2026 is not going to be all that valuable. Now, this is an incredibly stacked, deep draft. Don't get me wrong about that. And if we walk away, or if we go into the offseason with multiple first-round picks in 2026, ultimately, like on paper, I like the way that sounds. But like as far as picks go, the Knicks, they're going to finish at the top of the Eastern Conference. They're likely going to be, if not in the Eastern Conference Finals, the NBA Finals. So how valuable is that pick in 2026 going to be? I don't know that I'm all that interested in it. I like Deuce McBride. He's a solid point of attack defender. I would rather get somebody like Landry Shamet from New York than than Yabusele, but Shamet has really cemented his role over there. He is an incredible shooter. That's why I want him, and that's why they're not going to trade him. They need what Shamet offers. Yabusele's having an off year, but he's a stretch four that can kind of shoot the ball. I don't know that I'm all that interested, but the contracts are pretty friendly, and they only last for one more year beyond this one. I don't know. But moving on to Anthony Davis, again, I don't talk about it just to talk about it. The guys, Thursday, the report was it is likely or it is expected that Anthony Davis will be moved by the trade deadline. That was reported by Chris Haynes. That is a legit source, y'all. This is a guy who's totally tapped into all the league execs and whatnot. So he says it is expected that Anthony Davis is traded by the deadline. Like, okay, yeah, there's some real momentum there. Very next day on the Howdy Partners podcast, Tim McMahon, the Dallas Mavericks official NBA insider for ESPN. He's like, well, pump the brakes on that one because the Mavericks are asking for those expiring contracts of Porzingis and Kennard, right? That's $40 million. That just disappears from our books next year. They're asking for Zachary Reza-Shea, last year's number 1 overall pick, and they want picks. So what McMahon is saying is it is highly doubtful that happens, right? That they get all that they are asking for. Is it posturing? Because, later is like, well, the Hawks are kind of pushing back that they would even offer Reza-Shea at all. I think it's posturing, y'all. And I think, there's a little bit of this going on because so-and-so leaked part of what their negotiations had been around. Thanks, Mark Cuban. I don't think or hope that the deal is dead. I think we're still good there. But now Tim McMahon is saying like it's feeling kind of like a stretch that this gets done by the trade deadline. Posturing. I think people are just saying stuff. Is he going to get traded in January? If so, is it going to be to the Warriors for that Jonathan Kuminga? If so, then we have to wait until January 15th. But if not, I would like to see some moves soon so that we can free up roster space and cap space to go ahead and convert Ryan Nembhard from that 2-way contract into a standard contract. There's so many moving pieces and the reports are conflicting day to day. That's why I centered it on Naji Marshall more today, which again, for the record, I do not want to trade Naji Marshall. He's incredibly valuable to any success that we could have, not only this season, but the following season. After that, his contract's going to expire. So maybe next season we start thinking about what we're going to do beyond that contract. Right now, I say don't trade him. If you do, I think you can do a hell of a lot better than Deuce McBride and Gershon Yabusele and the Knicks 2026 first round pick. Again, not going to be a great pick. Anywho, that's pretty well the long and short of it. 113-108 win against the Houston Rockets tonight. Cooper Flagg 30-point double-double. We're going to get double-digit blocks. We're going to hit 13 three-pointers and start really trending in the right direction with not just makes but takes in that category. If not, the tankathon is ringing truer and truer every day. Now, that's something else I want to fold into our episodes very, very soon is actually do a live tankathon spin. Don't know how to do that yet, working with my mentor. And in the meantime, let me know what you think about potentially moving Naji Marshall. Do you agree that he should not be traded? And if you don't agree and you think he should be traded, what are you realistically looking for in exchange? Tell me all about it. But in the meantime, y'all be good. Party on.